This is Solo in the Shop. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about how I feel about getting ready to go to WorkbenchCon. Let's get started. Welcome to Solo in the Shop. I'm your host, Ronald Lowe's, and whether you're a weekend warrior crafting for friends and family, or a full-time maker turning your passion into a business, this podcast is for anyone who finds themselves alone in their shop covered in sawdust. Join me as I share my journey from hobbyist to the owner of New England Table Company. Together, let's navigate the joys and challenges of woodworking and entrepreneurship, one project at a time. Hello, friends. As I'm recording this, it is 2 days before WorkbenchCon kicks off, and I went last year, and it was amazing. The 2023 version of WorkbenchCon happened, and I had major FOMO. I was really feeling like I had missed something, and I made it a point to get there for 2024. And it was very worthwhile. I loved it. I got a lot out of it. I met a lot of the people that I kind of idolize online between, Cam Anderson from Blacktail Studios, Sedge from Festool, just a ton of people. And I met other makers that I'm still in touch with. It's been fantastic. Mark from Streamline Woodshop, I'm in touch with him all the time. And I'm really looking forward to getting back there and hanging out with the other makers and learning a few things. It was also at WorkbenchCon that I talked with people who were in the podcasting arena within makers. And that's what convinced me to just go for it. There was discussion about, are you ever really ready? And I think like so many things, you just have to decide to jump in. And today's episode, as it happens, is episode 52, and that is one full year of making a episode every week without missing a week. So I'm very happy with that. That's my consistency that I've been striving for. So I'm very happy with that. As I'm getting ready for the next WorkbenchCon on Thursday, I was looking at the various speakers and workshops that were happening. And I just wanted to bring up what I'm looking forward to. And then next week, hopefully, I will have some feedback on how this year's conference went. Just in no particular order, I've got 6 or 7 that I want to talk about real quick. Josh Booth is going to be there, and he's giving a talk about photography and mastering light and color with any camera. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, most of us are using iPhones or our phone cameras for photographing or work. And it's become clear to me between Facebook Marketplace and my own website that the quality of the photos makes a huge difference in how easy it is to market and sell your finished products. So I'm looking forward to getting some tips from that. Annika from Annika's DIY Life is doing a workshop on just growing your website and everything about website, from design to email lists and using social media to grow your website traffic. I feel like that's something that I'm very comfortable with. I'm not going to say I can't learn anything. I am going to say that I expect to be able to implement whatever advice that she offers fairly quickly. I'm hoping it's pretty technical, and I'm looking forward to jumping into that. Tyler from Southern Craftsman is giving a talk about advertising and growing your business, and that's using both free and paid ads, reducing your costs, which, if you've listened to the last few episodes, that's a big thing with me, is trying to figure out how to source my materials cheaper and cheaper because the margins are so slim. And then also, when it comes time, how to scale your business by adding some employees. I've got my one part-time high school guy that comes and helps sand and move things and helps with all the lifting around the shop. So I'm interested in what's next. Scott Seidler is going to be talking about AI and using AI for generating content. I am not a huge fan of using AI, especially for manipulating images or videos, but I am a huge fan of using AI to take a message, right, what I want to say, and refine it so that it sounds more compelling or it sounds more friendly and maybe less pushy or less unrefined. Less unrefined, more refined. One of the things that I'm looking forward to most is Zach Vaught. And if you've listened before, you know that I really love Zach and his program. I am not a member of that program, but I listen to his podcast and I understand the message. My goals in life and in business are slightly different than his. I think he definitely has a method to grow a business, a woodworking business, to increase sales, increase revenue quickly. And if that is all that is important, if being the business is the end goal, then I think that's fantastic. But if your goal is to be an artiste or to sell luxury goods, which is kind of where I'm at, then there's a gap between that goal and what Zach's programs offer. But he is going to be talking about lead flow, cash flow, and scaling your business from one person to, potentially, 7 figures a year, top line. And that is all stuff that really appeals to me. And I've talked to Zach a few times over Messenger, and I'm looking forward to meeting him in person and spending some time with him outside of the session as well. So that I'm really looking forward to. I would say meeting Zach and spending time with him is probably my number one priority, next to spending time with people from last year. Busted Knuckle Woodworks, Lee from there, is doing a session on setting up a video studio and talking about camera angles and audio setup and various editing techniques. And that is, kind of targeting the YouTube makers, but here I am making a video podcast. I feel like I can benefit from the same thing. And who knows, I may at some point prioritize YouTube over Instagram for my woodworking business. We'll see. But knowledge is knowledge, and I want to learn what I can. And then the last thing, and I would say this is the number 2 item on my list. Abraham from Grace Lane Company is doing a session on using Pinterest to grow your business. And I feel like Pinterest is something that I could definitely leverage. And I automatically publish stuff from Instagram to Pinterest. And I get Pinterest notifications all the time. Dozens of people saving my pins and forwarding pins and stuff like that. I want to learn more about having a strategy for Pinterest, right? I am just throwing everything out there, and I recognize that it has way more potential for attracting people who are actually shopping for what I make rather than just throwing up either a funny video or a glory video with really no messaging around it. And so I really want to get into the nitty-gritty of how to use Pinterest. So then those are the sessions that I'm really looking forward to. And then obviously, as others have said, I'm just here for the lobby, and spending time in the lobby and having drinks with friends that I've met and meeting new people. I met a ton of people last year, and I'm looking forward to doing the same this time. I know that some of the people that I would love to see aren't coming, and I think that's a shame. I think there's been this attitude that some of what I'll call the superstar makers are staying away, maybe favoring the Texas Woodworking Festival in Austin over this. And, maybe it's on WorkbenchCon to attract those big names and put some money behind it. But I feel like for the individual makers and the small companies, it would have been nice if people could kind of set their wallets aside and say, hey, I'm going to join the community and spend time with people. But there's plenty of people that are coming. Jimmy DeRest is going to be there, so I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I assume if Jimmy's there, then Derek from Malden's going to be there. So Total Boat's going to be there. You know, I like Mike and Kristen from Total Boat, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. Brittany Carbone's going to be there. So plenty of big names in social media and the maker community. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So I am going to be packing today, if you're listening to this live, and then traveling over the weekend. And then next week, I hope to come back with some conclusions about how WorkbenchCon 25 was, and I'll give you my feedback. That's what I have for you this week. It's a short one. And, you know, as always, love you guys, and I will talk to you again soon. A couple things before I get back to work. First, if you aren't already following this podcast, what are you doing? Hit follow so you don't miss a single episode. And then secondly, as a favor to me, could you leave a rating or a review wherever you listen? And be sure to share this show with any of your friends that need to tune in. As always, I'd love to hear from you at solointheshop@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.